Welcome to the World Center of Speed Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida for the first leg of the eCola Daytona Doubleheader with the eCola Paul Revere 200. This is the first same-track doubleheader in North American Auto Club history, starting this Friday night in the road course layout, closing on Sunday night on the oval, being the fourth superspeedway race of the season. This is part of an extended and very exhaustive cycle of the season. So far, until the next race on the 8th of July, we'll have gone through 8 races within a month. So an average of 2 races a week, more or less. And that demanding travel does change a lot in the championship. Before the streak of races happened, the dynamics were just about how Ryan Faulkner and Luke Pellerin were starting to detach from the rest of the field, and if there was gonna be a way for others to catch. Only a month later, now we have the whole top 5 under a 50-point blanket and 13 drivers overall within 400 points, meaning there is a long struggle going on for that championship lead brewing up, and the exhaustive nature of the schedule makes erratic changes much more likely. In the meantime, the competition agreement assembly has continued across the last few weeks, and the 2 main items that have filtered out are the further extensions to the current calendar, which is slowly increasing to a daunting 40 races in 2019, mainly due to the several track contracts that have not concluded, and they will remain active until 2020, when a new track agreement is expected to be signed with most of the venues, and that one would run until 2025, which means that the series is bound to hold some events, exceptuating some fines that would be issues alongside not serving important markets consistently. On that field, they are between a rock and a hard place. There's not much they could do. Another subject in those discussions that came up are the provisional starting positions. For the last few years, the amount of provisional entries has been capped at 24, but with the increase in full-time entries, coupled with a general diminishing of the minor local entries we used to have, they have preferred to enter the late model and modified series over the Challenge Series for obvious reasons, given the equipment crossover between local track championships and the All-Star Series models. That means there's just space to increase the amount of provisionals available for 2019 and beyond. All of these discussions are still in their infancy, so we do not know how far they will go, but we will be sure to update you as more and more information pours in. Now, talking about this race, the Pellerins have locked out the front row. Luke is seeking to take the championship lead back from Corbin Dempsey, who has failed to time his way in and depended on a provisional to start this race. And the 20 points bonus provided to pole sitters already secures Luke Pellerin's position as championship leader when the green flag drops, while Becky Pellerin gains a few more points in her quest to get back in the fight for the championship lead as well. Thomas Tucker and Hibiki Murata, 2 drivers that have performed above par on road courses, start up front, with Mac Henley closing the top 5, while Ryan Faulkner, starting in 6th, fails to get the bonus points to dent the gap to Dempsey and Pellerin. Sten Gustafsson once again starts up front on a road course, while Brett Finley gets a surprise 8th place tonight on a road course. That's not something we expected from Finley. This is another race with a high amount of entrants, totaling 54 drivers attempting to time their way in, meaning 14 will not make it to the field, and quite a few notable names appear in both pages of the list of drivers that failed to qualify. We start with Tegan Robertson, and because Torkson Racing simply completely whiffed out the setup, which left her hanging when she knocked out by the provisionals, alongside Vernon Hargrove and Ethan Collins, which are unfortunate defeats for both drivers. They're trying to build momentum for the second half of the season, and this is exactly not what they needed. Chris Endicott, Lucy Harper, Kevin Daly unable to time their way in. Steve Greenblatt, a longtime series veteran, making a couple of starts in the Floridian events. He started Lakeland. He's gonna attempt here in Daytona as well. And Allison Smith in another poor performance by David Tyner Racing. David Tyner this time has said the problem this time has been the car. The driver has done well. This track is 3.57 miles with 2 slow hairpins, one in the middle of the back straightaway and one coming around to the tri-oval, meaning the longest straight is the first half of that superspeedway backstretch, with the banked turns making a lot of difference in terms of how you set up a car for an event like this. If the people setting up cars for the Daytona 24 already have a degree of difficulty with the sports cars, now imagine these lumbering, almost anti-aerodynamic heavy composite body stock cars. You can see how things can go. We have 34 laps scheduled, and you can get at a minimum to halfway through on a tank, meaning this 120-mile race will have a single pit stop expected to happen. It's been a warm tropical night here in Florida. Clear skies, high tides on the beach. We're ready to go. Luke Pellerin has the field in his control and the green flag is out. Becky Pellerin starting to his outside. She does not get the good jump she could have gotten. Here comes Thomas Tucker daring to make him on the inside, and turn number 1 already making a move forward. Is it gonna work? Looks like it might. They're side by side coming into the first set of S's, and Thomas Tucker is gonna get a good jump on the inside, and Thomas Tucker already takes the lead here in Daytona, being chased down by both Pellerins, and Mac Hanley having a good start. Hibiki Murata down there also in the war. Stan Gustafsson battling with Murata for the 5th position. A very good start for Thomas Tucker as he goes down to the dog leg, and there he goes leading the way with a big gap, trying to form a big gap to Luke Pellerin. But as you see, there's Stan Gustafsson as we reach the oval's first turn, turn 7 in the whole track. He's chasing down Mac Haley and Beck Pellerin as they come to the Le Mans chicane. Turns 9 and 10. Mac Haley makes a dive, hits the curb, tries to make something happen, and he is gonna make the pass work, but Pellerin has the inside as we come to turn 11, turn number 3 of the oval, and she's gonna be able to fight it back. Luke Pellerin battling with Thomas Tucker. They make a little bit of contact. Luke Pellerin not refraining from using the bumper. He moves Thomas Tucker to the outside as they're gonna come in to the second chicane. And is it gonna work? Does not look like it will, but they're side by side still in the fight, and that's almost it. That is almost it. Thomas Tucker retains the first position as we watch the International Horseshoe. Joey Anderson, winner at Lime Rock, having a very good run early in 9th place. Qualifying wasn't so kind to him, but he's chasing down Ryan Faulkner, having a very good start. Hibiki Murata still stuck in the 6th position. Could have had a better start, but got a little bit of a lag. Lucy Barton right behind her. Luke Pellerin to the outside of Thomas Tucker. Is going to try to set up a move on the chicane of 13-14. Is it going to be enough? He puts the bumper to the number 9. Stan Gustafsson putting the bumper to Becky Pellerin. And now Luke Pellerin on the outside gets a very good jump. And Luke Pellerin's back on the lead at the end of lap number 2. And we start lap number 3 with a new race leader. You ride with Hibiki Murata as they come around to in and out. Turns number 1 and 2. Is it enough? Doesn't look like it will. She's going to have a tip, and again she tags the number 18 on the rear end. You can see the damage on the back end of the 18. He's low down, and he got hit by Hibiki Murata. Carly Edison into the back of Lee Schmidt. Lee Schmidt tried to control that car. He cannot, and he strikes that tire barrier very hard. That is the first caution of the race on lap number 4 of, we expect to be 34 laps. As you watch the pace car go through the field, the 18 has a bit of damage, but he ended up giving the position to Hibiki Murata as they were racing back to the line. You see there Luke Pellerin, Thomas Tucker, Becky Pellerin, Stan Gustafsson, Hibiki Murata, Mac Hanley, Lucy Barton, Ryan Faulkner, Charlie Faulkner, Joey Anderson, Boyd Abbott is your top 10 so far in Daytona. You see the rest of the field lining up for the restart. Colin Kaiser not having the best of days for Zach Tech. He's in the middle of the field. Likewise, Lily Briscoe for Overton Motorsports. Abi Tachibana, teammate to Hibiki Murata, also not having the best days as well. Leading the field to the green, coming to lap number 7 is Luke Pellerin. Stan Gustafsson already trying to make something happen on the outside. When he saw Becky Pellerin make the move on the outside, he tried to snap her right there. Wasn't able to. And as they come around turn number 2, that little in and out swipe, and Luke Pellerin is gonna hang on, and Stan Gustafsson is gonna pass Becky Pellerin right there as they come around to the to the International Horseshoe. Corbin Dempsey in 32nd place slides around the championship leader in dire straits, and in dire straits early. He cannot afford to bleed that amount of points, especially for this man, Ryan Faulkner, who is currently in 8th place. And, of course, Luke Pellerin, who's currently leading the proceedings so far. Kate Taylor up in smoke, and he is gonna end up having to stop at the first turn, and we're definitely gonna have a caution. There's no way they can retrieve that car there. Caution is out on lap number 8. 2 cautions very early, 1 lap after the restart. We're gonna have a couple of laps to get everything sorted out. We're gonna get the restart on lap number 11 of 34, and here we go. Luke Petterin once again leads the way, hanging on. Thomas Tucker is gonna try to find space to make the move. He's gonna use the bumper. Luke Petterin used it on him. It's only fair he gives back the favor, and coming down to turn number 2, Thomas Tucker is gonna have the line. He hits the curb, almost hits the wall. Daring do for Thomas Tucker, and he is gonna recover the lead. Stan Gustafsson holds the third position. Boyd Abbott battling with Ryan Faulkner as they're gonna come around to the chicane. Turn number 9 and 10. Is it gonna be enough? Doesn't look like it will, but Boyd Abbott having a very good run for Ashcroft Family Racing. A very solid day for the 9 and the 99. Megan McDonald working her way forward. She did not have a very good qualifying effort, and she's having to, for lack of a better term, work towards paying that position debt as she battles with Lexi Percy and Joey Anderson. Caitlin Richler up there showing a very good race for HQS Racing. Lucy Barton falling backwards a little bit in the last couple of laps after this restart, which is an important thing to take into account. Lucy Barton is 4th in the championship. She's seeking to gain a few points. Ashley Richardson and Catherine Ashcroft get together as they come to the West Horseshoe, about to enter the oval, and that could have ended much worse than it did as they go through in and out. Ami Tachibana, penalty for the 53. She jumped the restart. She has to go through a stop and the go. And there she goes. Becky Peller into the inside of Stan Gustafsson as we hit turn number 1. Is it gonna be enough? Side by side, they almost make contact. Bellerin makes the move work, and the defending series champion already making moves before we even hit the halfway point of this race. Riley McKee and Caitlin Richler running in 14th, 15th, and they're having a very solid run. They've been not as good as we expected them this weekend. HQS Racing has had a few problems this season. They won a race in New York, but their teammate Lexi Percy is directly ahead of them. So overall, if the road course specialist is in 13th, you're 14th and 15th, I'm not gonna say they're having a bad race. They're having a very good race. Carly Allison, after that contact with Lee Schmidt, is falling under investigation. Warren Majeski into the back of Kirk Jones. Big hit. Kirk Jones on the inside. He's gonna end up in the access road to the pits, and he's gonna commit. There's a lot of damage on the side of that car. He got tagged in the rear by Majeski as they were coming down to turn number 1. A lot of side damage to the 32. There's a couple of dark clouds in that team after the key decks collapse, and that you see a lot of frowns on that crew. Lexi Percy and Joey Anderson, the top 2 at Light Rock, putting the bumper to each other. Quite a bit of damage on the 03 as he's gonna round back around the International Horseshoe to come towards the dog leg after losing a couple of positions. What I was gonna say about Kirk Jones Racing is they've been having a lot of frown faces there. There's a real morale problem in that crew. Peter Johnson into the back of Warren Majeski as we open lap 14. Majeski trying to control that car, slowing down as we come to the chicane. He slides around on that wet grass, tags the tire barrier, and he slides around. Some would call it karmic retribution. I just call it a problem of a wet grass situation here. It rained over on Friday, so the grass is still kind of wet. It rained a lot. The asphalt got drier as we had the preparations, as Thomas Tucker making a move back for the lead, as Luke Perez making a move back for the lead. The first time around he did it on the outside. This time he does it on the inside. So he's keeping Thomas Tucker stressed. He's keeping Thomas Tucker on his toes, not telling him when the move's gonna happen. Joey Anderson to the pits on lap number 14. He is actually gonna decide to go into the pits, maybe do an undercut, see if he can make that work. And as you see, the rest of the drivers that crashed during this lap 14, which were 3, so Kirk Jones also comes in to get that damage fixed. Likewise, Warren Majeski, they're gonna actually try an undercut alongside fixing all that damage. It could work, but they probably would depend on a caution to gain those positions. Lucy Barton and Ryan Faulkner going through turn 6 and 7. Barton on the outside trying to make the move work. Is she gonna clear the 89? What a move by Lucy Barton. Clears Ryan Faulkner. She's now in the 9th position. Thomas Tucker in 2nd place, now falling under threat from Rebecca Pellerin and Sten Gustafsson, who are chasing him down and chasing him down very, very impressively. Gustafsson on the back end of the 27, Hibiki Murata hanging on to the 5th position. Charlie Faulkner has gained all the way to the 6th spot, and Sten Gustafsson to the outside of the IKEA car. And there he goes, setting up the move. He crosses the line ahead of Rebecca Pellerin as they're going to come out to turn number 1. Is it going to be enough? He needs to clear her. Is he going to do it? Looks like he might. Pellerin dives a little bit deep, draws from the inside, draws deep from her own skills to try to make this work. Gustafsson to the outside, and Becky Pellerin is going to retain the 3rd position. Demi Barton currently running in 15th place. The leader of the Rookie Challenge has had that lead since the start of the season. The thing is, she cannot lose positions like this. She tags the wall. I was gonna say she cannot afford to have bad results, and damage is definitely something that can contribute to a bad result. As we come to 15 laps to go, lap 20 to lap 21, Luke Pellerin, Thomas Tucker, Becky Pellerin, and Charlie Faulkner coming to the pits. Hibiki Murata, McHenley as well. Sten Gustafsson stays out. He's gonna try and overcut. Boyd Abbott commits to pit lane. Megan McDonald as well. Tammy Barton's gonna stay out. Lucy Barton's gonna stay out. Ryan Faulkner, Lexi Percy, Riley McKee also stay out. That allows Sten Gustafsson to open a wide gap, and above all else, he gets to get a bonus point, which, while he's not running full-time for the championship, all the talk of the competition agreement, all the possibility that we might have an increase in provisions, that's something we've been hearing for years now. You always want to be as far up as you can. Lexi Percy chasing down Ryan Faulkner, Riley McKee right behind her. And you see, as Luke Pellerin is going to come out, he's going to come out in front of the 19 of Jenny Irving. Those are people that haven't pitted yet, so he has the potential to gain a lot of spots. We're going to see what happens there when the 95 comes in. As you see there, Corbin Dempsey. Of course, he does not beat Luke Pellerin out of the pits, which is going to be an even bigger problem, because if he can't beat Luke Pellerin, who can he beat right now? Among the leaders, at least. You see the size of the gap between Sten Gustafsson and Lucy Barton, the 2 top drivers that haven't pitted. Then you see Ryan Faulkner and Lexi Percy and Riley McKee in the distance. And then it's a big gap. Immense gap until Ashley Richardson appears on your screen. Sten Gustafsson commits to pit lane. He's gonna lead this lap when he hits the stripe, and this is important for the team at the very least. Then you see the rest of the field come in, the rest of the drivers that hadn't pitted yet. So Lucy Barton's in, Ryan Faulkner's in, Lexi Percy and Riley McKee are in, and we have to look at Luke Pellerin attentively. He has a big gap to Thomas Tucker now, a very large gap, and a gap that I don't think Thomas Tucker can make up on track. Sten Gustafsson coming out of the pits, he still has to go through the access road. Luke Pellerin's gonna round out turn 1 and 2. He's gonna come out turn number 1, and he is gonna be ahead of Sten Gustafsson. Now the battle is to see if he can come out ahead of Thomas Tucker. That might be the battle that is important for Sten Gustafsson. He's gonna come out into the International Horseshoe ahead of Thomas Tucker. A big break for Sten Gustafsson, but Tucker dives down and he makes the move, and he already takes the 2nd position back from Thomas Tucker from Sten Gustafsson. But Sten Gustafsson is gonna be in a position where he can fight. He can fight 4th position. Becky Pellerin is gonna fall from 3rd to 4th. Charlie Faulkner is gonna get 5th in this pit cycle by passing Hibiki Murata in the pits. As you see there, Hibiki Murata currently running in the 6th spot, chasing down, trying at least to chase down the 85. Lucy Barton's actually gonna pull out a very well done overcut. She was in 10th, she's now 7th. Boyd Abbott actually gonna make his own pit stop cycle work because he's gonna pass McHenley. So now he is in 8th. McHenley falls to 9th. Ryan Faulkner falls to 10th. That's a good thing for Corbin Dempsey, but not good enough. He needed Ryan Faulkner to break down on the pits, stall, implode, anything except this. Lexi Percy's in 11th. Megan McDonald having a very good recovery run in 12th. Could have been better, but for someone who did not qualify that well, the climb is all that matters. Joey Anderson, currently running in 30th place, looking to recover after pitting for all that damage, all the bent paneling that was giving him a tire rub, and he's going to work towards the front of the field. Corbin Dempsey, I said 30th, but when everything cycles out, Anderson's going to be 26th, going for 25th. Corbin Dempsey is going to be 27th, which is still a massive problem, especially for a man that only leads the championship by 18 points, and his top two contenders are currently in the top 10. Disastrous result. Ashley Richardson having a solid run. Contact with Caitlin Richler as they hit the start-finish line. Caitlin Richler was trying to bump draft her, and let's see what happened. Caitlin Richler came down to the inside, and that's a failed bump draft. It's the type of thing that happens, but oh man, that's a major miscalculation by the Alaskan, and that allows Marcy Crawford and Colin Kaiser to gain 2 positions. Caitlin Richard is going to be 14th, Colin Kaiser is going to be 15th, Marcy Crawford 16th. You see the gap that Luke Pellerin has built up with only 10 laps remaining. Becky Pellerin passed Sten Gustafsson as well, and Sten Gustafsson hanging on for dear life against Charlie Faulkner. Hibiki Murata still stable, a long gap. She's going to be stuck in 6th for a while. Corbin Dempsey has passed both Joey Anderson and Lucas Calhoun. Joey Anderson wasn't able to pass Calhoun, and that allowed Corbin Dempsey to vault over both of them on the turn 4. On turn 4, you're going to watch the replay there of Becky Pellerin passing Sten Gustafsson. She gave him a little bump and run, and what a move by Rebecca Pellerin, the defending series champion, winner in Road America, the first road course race of the season, and of other races as well, is doing a fantastic job so far. Charlie Faulkner, 1 at Fontana, 1 at Waterbury. Now he passes Sten Gustafsson on the outside, trying to gain as many positions as he can. This is important for him to keep him in the struggle for the championship. He currently sits in the 5th position, 45 points behind Dempsey. He stands to gain a lot. Another driver that stands to gain a lot is Ryan Faulkner to the inside of Boyd Abbott. For the 9th position, he's gonna get it, and he's only 37 points behind Corbin Dempsey. Luke Pellerin is 18th, so he doesn't gain to Luke Pellerin, but he gains to Corbin Dempsey. So right now, Luke Pellerin is your prospective championship leader with around 8 laps remaining here. 9 laps remaining here in Daytona. And Luke Pellerin coming out of turn number 6. He's slow. Oh no! Oh my right, oh no. With only 4 laps to go, Luke Pellerin comes to a screeching halt. The fuel system in the 88 has broken down, and that brings us to a caution with only 5 laps to go in Daytona. This changes everything in the race. This changes everything in the championship. This is gonna put Thomas Tucker in the lead, Becky Pellerin in 2nd, Charlie Faulkner in 3rd, Sten Gustafsson in 4th, Hibiki Murata in 5th as she's being caught by McHenley Ryan Faulkner. And as you see there, we're gonna have a green-white checkered finish because to take Luke Pellerin out of the spot he stopped in, they had to add 1 more lap. So instead of a 34-lap race, this is a 35-lap race. Green flags in the air. Thomas Tucker's low on the trigger, very slow on the trigger. Becky Pellerin already has the bumper on him. Charlie Faulkner to the outside, Sten Gustafsson to the inside. Hibiki Murata having a look as well, and coming out of turn number 1, Becky Pellerin's already gonna take the lead. Thomas Tucker's gonna fall to a 3 wide between Sten Gustafsson and Charlie Faulkner. They're all together now. Sten Gustafsson going for 2nd place. Is that gonna be enough? Looks like not as they come to the international hairpin. Hibiki Murata having a look for 4th place. McHenley for 5th. And Charlie Faulkner is gonna take the 2nd position start to chase down the 27. Incredible start by Becky Pellerin, already showing that the time for the big moves is now, and she's getting it together exactly like she should. As they come into the oval, Charlie Faulkner, there you see there, Thomas Tucker falls to the 4th place from the lead. Hibiki Murata and McHenley chasing Thomas Tucker down, and this looking like a great finish. This also gives a big lifeline for Corbin Dempsey. He needs to finish inside the top 20 as to not lose even more points and at least keep Luke Pellerin close to him. And he's chasing down Ashley Richardson, who still has that damage from her crash with Caitlin Richler. Lily Briscoe finds herself inside the top 20. A very big climb for the young Canadian. Rounding out the final chicane, Becky Pellerin has a big gap to Charlie Faulkner. White flag is in the air for Rebecca Pellerin. She leads here in Daytona by a sizable gap. Does not look like Charlie Faulkner will have a lot of space to battle her on unless she commits a series of mistakes. Battle for fifth between Hibiki Murata and Mac Haley. Haley's gonna try to do something on the inside, unable to. Thomas Tucker also fighting there as well, chasing down the 95 of Sten Gustafsson. You see there, Catherine Ashcroft jumped the restart. And she's not the only one, because Ollie Nolan also jumped the restart and Kirk Jones jumped the restart as well. So 3 stop and goes coming to the final lap. A shame for these 3, but they were all in the back of the pack anyway. Rounding out the oval's second turn, the 8th turn in this circuit on the back straightaway, Becky Pellerin suffered a complete collapse on the last few weeks. Her last few results after finishing 7th in Bristol were a 23rd place in Ohio, a 38th place in Indianapolis, a race where she was only one of 3 cars to fail to finish, 31st in Waterbury, and 23rd in Lime Rock. But she finished 2nd in Moncton. She is being chased down by the 85. However, if there's a time to rally back to fight for the championship, it has to be now as we approach halfway in the Challenge Series. And Becky Pellerin is gonna get her 4th win of the year, coupled with her previous wins at Pikes Peak, Milwaukee, and Road America. And we have a finish there in the back. Sten Gustafsson's gonna pass. Thomas is gonna hang on to 3rd place after passing Thomas Tucker and at the stripe, a photo finish for the 5th position. Mac Hinley is gonna take 5th place. And further back, Corbin Dempsey is gonna pull an 18th place finish. He loses a lot of points, but not enough to be out of the fight. If until now she was taking in the points one race at a time and piecemeal, Becky Pellerin just busted the doors open for good. She beats Charlie Faulkner in the green-white checkered and scores over 140 points tonight. Sten Gustafsson gets a spectacular 3rd place, a return to form after missing a long time for that broken leg that he got in the PCC Cup Series race in Talladega last year. Another great road course result for Thomas Tucker in 4th place, while Mac Haley finishes where he began in 5th, and Hibiki Murata oscillates down to 6th place. A good result. Regardless, she needs to keep this form going. She needs to keep this because her morale's starting to build up. She's starting to get warmed up. Ryan Faulkner gets a big points day over Corbin Dempsey, who was able to work his way up to 18th after starting last, but still no cigar. But Luke Pellerin will have to cope with that beyond disastrous 37th place finish. The bonus points help, but they did not prevent the damage that this causes. Lexi Percy gets another great road course result for HQS Racing, while the 98 and 99 close out the top 10. And we got Charlie Faulkner making the best use possible of their runner-up finish to take the lead back for the first time since the opener in Fontana. Corbin Dempsey ends up losing a combined 57 points, and now he's 12 points behind the older Faulkner and sandwiched by the younger Faulkner, who is only 3 points behind him. Lucy Barnton gains a little bit on the championship lead, and Luke Pellerin gets to at least only lose 11 points to Charlie Faulkner, but that amounts to 3 positions in the board. Not a small loss at all, but it could have been so much worse. Becky Pellerin gets to finally be within 10 points of the championship leader, and she passes Thomas Tucker while doing it, while he also joins that under 100 club and begins to look pretty good in the championship. Well, at least more than he already was. Tucker does get to expand his Summer Series lead slightly from 1 to 4 points, Lucy Barton falls to third, Charlie Faulkner takes second, but overall, we're still waiting for the Summer Series to reach its halfway point for us to see what happens, but it is getting interesting. Just like last time in Moncton, Tammy Barton maintains the lead, secure despite a poor 21st place finish, as Joy Anderson was unable to dent her at all. Marcy Crawford gains around 1.6 on her average, but it's still a very manageable distance for Tammy Barton. It's a struggle, but she needs to keep her eyes on the ball if she wants to win the Rookie Challenge, and she very much has the car and the skill to do it. Now looking at the Owners' Championship, things changed less than I guess anyone anticipated. Kristen Young just did not gain enough points to shake off either Hargrove or Majeski, so despite the fact that Hargrove didn't even qualify, he's still in range to do a lot of damage, provided that he does start the next race, which is at this very same location. But we're closing off a couple of walls, we're tearing down and repositioning some barriers, and we'll deal with the 31 degrees of banking of the Daytona International Speedway at 185 miles per hour. It will be the Firecracker 200, one of the most daunting events we'll see in 2018, and it's only in a couple of nights. I'll see you then.